Thanks to a viewer of my channel, they recommended that I watch Tiger and Bunny with them. I had previously known about this anime, of course. I mean, it's Tiger and Bunny, after all, Japan's most favorite anime of all time, according to some recent polls. So, based on that alone, I wanted to see it eventually. But the opportunity didn't arise until, of course, that viewer came along. And I did see it. And here is my review for Tiger and Bunny on this glorious day. Of course, the 12 days of anime. So as always, let's get into the review. Hero TV, a special TV series which films the live exploits of heroes and villains alike. These heroes are called the Next. These people are those who are gifted with special abilities which grant them unique powers. And for each good deed they do, they get points called hero points. And when they get enough, they will eventually become the king of heroes. Enter Kotetsu. Verging on middle age, he's past his prime and he's losing his powers as he grows a little older. A single dad after his wife passed, he is still busy trying to become the king of heroes while he leaves his daughter with her grandparents. But after a bad season, he is paired with Barnaby Brooks, and to say the least, they don't get along very well. Now forced to work together, they will have to learn to coexist and play off each other's strengths and weaknesses. This is Tiger and Bunny. From the studio which brought you Gintama and Cowboy Bebop, Sunrise are the people behind the production of this anime. As well with director Keiichi Sato, most known for Inuyashiki and Gantz O, the anime is left in very good hands. The anime is 2 cours in length, spanning 25 episodes, and features a recap film and as well a full feature-length film called Tiger and Bunny Movie 2 The Rising. Put down the comments below if you want me to review that film in the future. You can watch Tiger and Bunny on Netflix, YouTube, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and if you want to watch it free, you can watch it for free completely on Tubi and Vudu. Tiger and Bunny is a fun ride from beginning to end, sporting some really endearing and lovable characters with charisma and relatability. You'd be surprised to find how relatable this anime can be. With the everyday man Kotetsu as our main character, he serves as the viewer's eye into the series, the underdog of the show, if you will, and through him we are able to experience the world of Tiger and Bunny with a fresh and interesting perspective, kinda. The only issue with Tiger and Bunny's story is really that if you're a fan of superheroes, or if you're all superheroed out even, you will notice that Tiger and Bunny is kinda just a superhero comedy with pretty good action and drama to boot. I won't say it's outdated here, but beware that if you are watching this because you think it'll be an original take on the superhero genre, think again. Watch this as if it's just another anime, and your expectations will be met. But I digress. I think that Tiger and Bunny is a story which does a lot that's really unique to anime, but not to maybe the Western audiences, which is why I believe Tiger and Bunny is Japan's favorite anime. I mean, it makes sense. Take Western sensibilities and just wrap it in Japanese anime aesthetic. It's not something that hasn't been done before, I mean Cowboy Bebop, but Tiger and Bunny does it in a way which makes the series so fun and easy to watch. It's just a blast from beginning to end. Some of my favorite moments in the story are with Kotetsu and his daughter Kaede. I think the through line of these two relationships and the story it's telling is something we Western audiences have seen quite a bit of, and in the form of an anime is very fun to see here. It's the classic tale of a dad proving himself to his daughter, but in the end, it's his daughter impressing the dad. It's wholesome family stuff that you can't help but like and enjoy. As well, you have the dramatic parts of Tiger and Bunny, which are very entertaining and something, once again, not wholly unfamiliar. For example, Barnaby Brooks in this anime is trying to find the killer of his family, and so he becomes a superhero. It's obviously a play on Batman, and during my viewing, I even said as much when watching it out loud to the person I was watching with. And as well, things become somewhat obvious as to how his arc plays out, but the thing is that the story is so well told that it really doesn't matter. I'd rather have a cohesive story that's been done and told really well than have a story with crazy twists and turns just to try to fool the viewer and be original. This anime takes the aforementioned route and creates a highly entertaining story out of something we may have seen before. And together, Tiger and Bunny is essentially three main stories. You have Kotetsu's arc, Barnaby's arc, and as well the overarching story that keeps it all glued together. And when you throw in characters like Blue Rose, Agnes, Powlin, and more, you get a story with a wide cast and a lot of depth. As for characters, I kinda have to admit it's hard to pick a favorite for me. On one hand, I love Kotetsu for his heartwarming story with his daughter Kaede, but I also love Barnaby's Batman-esque presentation quite a bit. Then you have side characters as well, like Kaede, Blue Rose, Agnes, and Jake. There are so many characters that are all memorable, and I kind of love them all for one reason or another, which is a good thing because it shows that all of the characters are well characterized. Kotetsu is the underdog, Barnaby is the Batman, Kaede is the protege, Blue Rose is the one who shows up to steal the spotlight with her good looks and charisma, and Agnes, Agnes is just the best. You get a wide gambit of characters that are all well developed and lovable. And the villains also take a cue from Batman again, with villains like Jake, voiced by Steve Blum, who is obviously just the Joker. As well, we have Cream, who is also, much like the Joker, Harley Quinn. I didn't have a single issue with that at all. And in fact, I found them very enjoyable because it was their take on these classic characters. It was fun to see something familiar, but also unique within this world because while they are copies of these iconic American characters, and yeah, they might, feel like watered down versions of them, they still do add something to the story because they play well with our heroes, so to speak. So in that aspect, they do their job well, and while not the most memorable part of the series, they are still worth mentioning here. If there are any outdated aspects about Tiger and Bunny, it's art and its animation. The art, while looking good, obviously shows its age in many aspects. It's obvious even in 2011 that Tiger and Bunny was probably more of a budget anime as is. We can see this just from the general aesthetic of the art itself. Wide angles and shots from afar often turned the most solidly designed characters into blobs and their facial features into melted wax. Of course, we still see this a lot in anime today. It will never be something that's solved as long as 2D is used, but Tiger and Bunny has so much of it, and while it always has really well done close-up shots that you wouldn't expect, it's just very noticeable here. The backgrounds as well aren't as detailed as you would expect from Sunrise either, but even then, they still do manage at times to have the odd detailed background that can just floor you. This whole anime is basically a weird Japanese version of an American city, so sometimes you will get those really good backgrounds that shows off the concrete jungle. But as for character designs, they're very solid. Kotetsu has one of the most questionable beards in all of anime. I just don't understand it. Barnaby also isn't the only one to have questionable hair. What the hell even is this guy's hair? He looks like Liam Gallagher if Liam Gallagher was Japanese and actually had no fashion sense and also was like a teenage heartthrob. What? Otherwise, they're all very solidly designed, I think. Blue Rose maybe has too many crotch shots for a girl who's a teenager, but her design itself is really cool. Agnes as well. She's pretty well designed. She's the hot one with the attitude sort of design. I like Agnes. Powlin as well is a little out there, but in and out of the costume, I quite like the look she pulls off. Also, what's really cool is if you somehow have the broadcast version, every one of the heroes has an advertisement for some company. For example, Blue Rose with Pepsi Next. It adds a bit of realism to it all, which is cool. Much like art, animation is kinda outdated. The CGI in Tiger and Bunny is easy to get used to for sure, but it's by no means a Land of the Lustrous or Beastars as it's very outdated. The animation is choppy, awkward, and generally doesn't fit all that well. Not that it doesn't mean it's all bad. The animation for Kotetsu running is incredibly stupid, but in a funny and self-aware way. And this goes for a lot of the CGI, actually. They often find ways to just poke fun at their own animation sometimes, which says to me that they obviously knew what they were doing here, and that it was probably a last resort to save money or something they wanted to explore artistically. There's also times where they show their 2D faces in their 3D suits, and it looks funny, I'll say that. And as for the action, it's solid action. I quite enjoyed it and didn't find it to be lackluster or bad in the least. The action scenes are usually well done in most every way, and I would say are even a feature for this show. But much like the story itself, it's just a fun ride, and even with the animation issues, it's not really an issue, if that makes sense. Yoshihiro Iki, the man behind Dororo and Ergo Proxy Score, which I do own the score to, is the man behind this anime score. And it's good. It fits really well with this anime, and while sometimes it does feel like it's doing the basic anime score in the earlier episodes at times, it sort of just stops doing that at some point in around episode 4 or 5 and just really flows from there on. I actually really enjoyed how the score played into the action in this series, as it was noticeable but in a good way. It felt like a traditional superhero score, but more subdued and tasteful rather than blasting it out into your face. It was more subtle and thought out than most superhero scores are these days. It of course felt Western as well because of that, but still at home for anime. I believe this was achieved just with the arrangements themselves. They lent it better to Western sensibilities. Alright, Laura Bailey is awesome because she actually voices like a dozen characters in this anime. And I know you may be thinking, I'm exaggerating with that. But I'm actually not, and I'm speaking pretty truthfully here. While I don't have the hard numbers, I remember counting around 8 roles that Laura Bailey voiced in this anime, among voicing as well Pao Lin, which was a perfect fit for her. We also have Seiba-san herself, Carrie Walgren, voicing Blue Rose, which was an absolute perfect fit as well. And as well, to add on to the others, we have Beau Billingsley voicing Ben Jackson, Tara Platt voicing Agnes, Patrick Seitz as Keith Goodman, Wally Wingert as Kotetsu, and Yuri Lowenthal as Barnaby. The talent in this dub is really awesome, and it's full of names most fans will know. This is simply one of the better Viz Media dubs for sure. I mean, how could you not like it? It has Steve Blum as Jake. Steve Blum, people, he's in an anime! In closing, Tiger and Bunny is one of the funnest anime you can watch these days. Yeah, it's a bit, you know, it's agey, right? But that's by no means a bad thing for this anime. The story is fun and engaging, with heartfelt storylines like Kotetsu and Kaede to dramatic and classic storylines like Barnaby's quest to find his parents' murderers. Tiger and Bunny has tons of fun and entertaining stories that, chances are, if you're watching this video, you'll find some enjoyment out of. And I can see why Tiger and Bunny is Japan's favorite anime of all time. It's a breeze to watch and also memorable despite its age. It's a very well-written show. If you haven't, I really do recommend Tiger and Bunny. It's a fun show that really doesn't offend the senses, even with its CGI. And with that being said, the 12 days of anime are here, my friends. We're in full swing, or about halfway through. And I want to say that tomorrow I will be doing a review for Doug and Kirill, sort of the spin-off of Tiger and Bunny. So if you don't want to miss that, definitely hit subscribe and ring the bell for sure, because I highly recommend you do so. Also, as well, you know, since it's the 12 days of anime, I want to say go to Twitter, search up 12 days, the hashtag 12 days of anime, and follow the 12 days of anime Twitter account, and you know, just look and see if there's something you find out there. There's a bunch of creators that have signed up this year for the 12 days of anime, and I highly recommend you check out at least some of them, because I'll be doing the same as well. It's something I do every year, is check out a bunch of new creators through the 12 days of anime, because, you know, sometimes I'll find a friend, sometimes I'll find a content creator I really enjoy and I want to watch. So definitely go out and do that. I highly recommend it. You won't regret it. And as well, like this video if you haven't already, subscribe and ring the bell. Comment down below what are your thoughts on Tiger and Bunny, and know that I have a Patreon page. On the $1 tier and above, you get access to everything. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.